Okay, so here we're going to take a quick look at some of the nose shapes and some basic ideas in constructing these shapes. So here's the default nose. And what we're going to basically do is here we're going to look at three shapes. We're going to look at flaring or expanding the nostril up, compressing the nostril, pulling it in both directions. And in doing so, it's going to be similar to if you were to look in the mirror and lift your eyebrows. You'll notice that not only is the corrugator or the muscle pulling the brow upward, but your hairline will also move in the opposite direction, as if there's a center point and it's both pulling toward that center point. That's a similar thing that we're going to do here with the nostril compression. We're going to compress in both directions. And then there's going to be an expansion outward. Let's look at some of these shapes here. Now for each shape, here's the nostril up. We're going to have a center shape, a left shape, and a right shape. So that way an animator can quickly dial in a left or right shape as well as the center shape. They want to activate both nostrils at the same time. And once again, they're additive, so you could dial in the center shape to a certain point, and then if you want to flare one nostril a little further, then you can activate the left shape, which will add on top of that. And that needs to be done with a little bit of finesse, since you can easily overdrive the shape, since the left shape is basically one half of the center shape, so it will accumulate or add on top of what we have there. Just quickly looking at this shape, you can see that not only do we have the nostril expanding up and back, we also have a bunching of skin here, which simulates a mass compression there, where here's the skull, and the skin can only go so far before it starts hitting a more solid mass, so it starts bunching up or accumulating back there. So you have this going on in both the left and right shapes. Okay, so next we have the compression shape, which pulls the nostrils in both directions. The top of the nostril pulls down and the bottom of the nostril pulls up. Once again, a left and right shape for that. So here you can clearly see that that's moving in both directions. Then here's our wide shape. And once again, we have a left and right for that. Let's apply these and sort of see their effect. I'm going to just drag select over all the targets, shift select over the base, side our targets, then select Deform, Create Blend, and Option Box. Right now this is a default head model, but I'm going to, even if this were a skinned rig, I would still set my deformation order to default. And on the Basic tab, give the Blend Shape node a name. Nose Shapes. We're going to leave it on local. We can leave check topology off because these are all duplicates. Hit create. So once again, even if this were a rigged character, here's the blend shape node, I would make sure to order this so that it is the first thing in the deformation stack. Basically, it will be ordered underneath or before the skin cluster node. So let's look at some of these blend shapes by selecting Window, Animation Editors, Blend Shape. This brings up a window which shows all of our blend shape targets. So let's zoom in here. Okay, so here's our nose up. We can look and see this accumulation happening at the bridge of the nose. It's our left shape. and our right shape. Then there's adding the two together, a little bit of the center shape, and then some of the left shape so that we can get an asymmetric nose flare. There's our compression. Once again, adding in asymmetry. And then our wide. Okay, so those are basically just a few of the nose shapes, and you'll notice that in some of them, what I'm trying to do is simulate, fleshiness. For instance, if we're looking at the nose flare, not only is it flaring the nostrils, but it's also playing with the flesh at the bridge of the nose. So again, the same is true with the all of these shapes. I'm trying to spread the deformations out, just as with the skin cluster, broadly. Just gives it just a more, slightly more organic look. Okay, so once again, just a quick look at the some of the nose shapes that we can have here. We're not going to be doing that much with the nose, just flaring it and adding to some of the facial expressions. But once again, by splitting them out left and right, we can add on top of the center shapes to introduce asymmetry into these targets. So once again, just a quick look at these nostril shapes, and then we'll move on to the eyebrow shapes after this.